So one of the biggest benefits to being an independent contractor for Uber and Lyft is that you can offset a large portion of the income that you make with the deduction for all the miles that you drive. Harry here for the Rideshare Guy, and today I'm going to explain what miles you can deduct as an Uber and Lyft driver. So even if you have no idea how many miles you've driven so far this year for Uber and Lyft, both companies do provide a summary of the miles you drove at the end of the year. But the two companies provide a little bit different numbers, and it might not be all the miles you drove during the year. So Uber actually provides the total number of miles you drove while on a trip in your tax summary at the end of the year, while Lyft provides the total number of miles you were logged in to the driver mode with the app. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I drive a lot more miles than what these companies are counting, and you'd be exactly right. So a full-time driver is probably going to put at least 1,000 miles a week on their car, and in 2017, the standard mileage rate deduction is 53.5 cents. So let's say you make $1,000 and put 1,000 miles on your car, you're going to get to deduct $535 off of that 1,000. So all that you have to pay taxes on is $465. Hopefully I did that math right, but you guys get the point, right? A lot of the money that you make, you're not going to have to end up paying taxes on. And for self-employed, that's huge, right? Taxes are a lot higher for self-employed people. So definitely want to make sure that you're doing a really good job tracking that miles. So the question you might be asking yourself is, what are the other miles that I should be deducting, right? Now, you want to think about, there's all these other times where you may not be logged on to the app, you may not be in driver mode, that you might be repositioning yourself where you log off both the apps, or you might be driving into the city. And so there's quite a few times that you can actually track all of these miles and add to your totals, because obviously if you're on a trip with an Uber or Lyft passenger, those miles are going to be deductible, and Uber and Lyft provides you that information, but you're going to need some additional reporting. Now, for a while, for example, I lived in Long Beach, California, which is about 30 miles south of LA, and when I wanted to go make more money in the city, if I got a bonus offer, I just wanted to stay busier, I'd turn on my destination filter and drive into town, and now all of those miles, whether I got a ride or not, I would treat as deductible. And the same thing at the end of the night. I would turn on that destination filter, drive home. Sometimes I would get a ride, sometimes I wouldn't. But now that 30 miles or 20 miles, sometimes at the end of the night, I'd end up even further, right? And now all of those miles home are deductible, right? So you can offset a lot of that income that you make. Now, this is a bit of a gray area, so it does depend. Now, this is sort of what I'm doing personally. Taxes are obviously different for everyone, and this is how I handle them. But if you guys are really doing things right, you should have a ton of deductible miles at the end of the year. In the past, some CPAs would say that, miles to and from, so if you're driving into the city and out of the city, those miles weren't deductible, but it's really a range depending on how aggressive certain CPAs are or aren't. Some will say that those miles aren't deductible, some will say that they are, but fortunately now you have this destination filter that's available in all of the US, and you can actually use that now, and I think make a pretty good argument, at least that's what I think, that you can make a pretty good argument that all of those miles are deductible, right? And think about too, when you're when you're out driving, right? When you're repositioning yourself, right? If you're going to get a better chance of, getting a ride, all of these miles, right? That Uber and Lyft aren't tracking your miles for you there. These could all be deductible too. So what's the best way to track your mileage? Now, first, the most important thing I should say is that regardless of what method you use to track your mileage, just do something, right? You want to use the information from Uber and Lyft. Ideally, you'll do some more on your own, though. Maybe it's a pen and pad. You check your odometer at the beginning of your shift and check it at the end. Maybe you have an Excel sheet. More, you might use the apps, go the apps or some type of technology route. Now, personally, that's what I use. I use apps, so I recommend a couple different options. The first one is Stride Drive, and so this is a free Android and iPhone app that does mileage tracking for you. It also allows you to categorize some expenses and things like that. And the thing I love most about it is that it's free, so you can find a link down below in the show notes if you'd like to sign up using our affiliate link, or head to the rideshareguy.com/go/stride. And it's a pretty simple app. You start and stop, and all you have to do is really remember to do that. But I think that it does a good job because it also categorizes everything, throughout the year, and you can kind of have that summary at the end of the year. If you have a CPA, you can send it to them, or you can kind of quickly reference. So it's pretty simple, but it's free, and it'll actually help you get a huge reduction. Now, the other option that I also like is QuickBooks Self-Employed. Now, this is a paid app, but they also do mileage tracking, of course, and they also do a little bit more. So if you're looking to do invoicing, if you have private clients, or you want to see more of a holistic view of all your profit and your loss, right? If you're a full-time driver and you're really examining the profitability, if you want to compare the standard mileage versus the actual expense method, which is a little bit of a different topic, but something that some drivers do, right? If you're looking to have that more data, more granular data, I think QuickBooks Self-Employed is a good option for you. So maybe not as great for beginners, but definitely as you get more advanced, as you start to care more, that's definitely something that you can do. So hopefully you guys do like those options. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them below or send me an email. We release new videos every single Tuesday and Thursday, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. All right, drive safe, everyone.